You win some, you lose some, Leaf fans. The winning streak was bound to end at some point, and it ends at 4 games with a tough 3-1 loss to the Vancouver Canucks there today. And you can tell from the get-go the Leafs were a little shaky. Second night of a back-to-back. Michael Hutchinson in the cage. And when you give up a goal in the first 3 minutes of a game on the second night of a back-to-back, you travel. It's an hour time change, so not a lot of things going right for the Leafs on this night when it comes to even before the game. Then Jake Virtanen drives to the net early in this game, and Justin Hall actually kind of knocks it in the net himself. Would it have gone in otherwise? Well, maybe. But either way, it's a 1-0 Canucks lead less than 3 minutes in. And after that goal, I thought to myself, I'm like, in my gut, I don't have a good feeling about this. Like I said, second night of a back-to-back, you give up the first goal. And that's not a good recipe in itself, let alone the Canucks are very good when they score first. When they don't score first, they're downright terrible. They have not won a game when they don't score first. But you give up that early goal, but we know this Leaf team can score, so I'm not too worried at this point. Late in the period, Pierre Engvall busts in on the break. It wasn't really a break, but it was more or less a short one-on-one. Nice little feed from Mikheyev. And he buries it past Thatcher Demko to tie the game at 1. And we're tied at one goal apiece at the end of one period of play. That goal is at 17:15 of the first period. So you go into the break, you're back at basically a 0-0 game. You got to find a way to win these periods. And at one point in the early, I think it was the first couple minutes of that second period, the Leafs are out here flying, right? They're playing really good hockey. They have, 20 shots in the first 22 minutes. They're flying around like crazy. But again, in my gut, I'm like, you're on the second night of a back-to-back. As we saw with the Raptors today, you may have got off to a good start, but on the second night, usually it's the end of the game that you usually struggle because you're gassed. Yes, the Leafs crushed Edmonton, and they were fine and really didn't use all that energy. No matter what, you got to travel on the second night of a back-to-back. An hour time change. And you're playing a better team. Look, I got to give credit to the Vancouver Canucks because the first few times we played Vancouver, they were terrible. They weren't skating. They were looking awful. We actually kind of felt bad for them watching them play the Leafs. But today, they came out there with energy. Their legs were moving. They looked really good out there. And the Leafs, once that 22-minute stretch of 20 shots happened, they kind of slowed down. And then a mid-second period power play for the Vancouver Canucks. Jake Virtanen comes down on the right side. It looked like the Leafs were going to score a short-handed goal. A really good play for Billy Kerfoot to drop it to Mikheyev, but a nice save for Demko, and that was really a reoccurring theme in this game today was Thatcher Demko. But then they come down the other way, and Virtanen, literally almost on the goal line, takes a shot, and it goes over Hutchinson, and you're like, in the back of the net, now you're down 2-1 midway through this hockey game, and you look at the way Hutchinson set up on that post. I mean, that was a huge gap he left there at the top, and Virtanen just picked the spot. I don't know why Hutchinson left that big of a gap up in the top shelf, and Virtanen found it. And the Leafs now trail 2-1. And as I mentioned, now you're in the second night of a back-to-back. You're now trailing midway through this game. And Thatcher Demko is playing such a good hockey game. This might be a tough one. You go into the second intermission, you're down 2-1. You got to find a way in the third to break through and get one past Demko. Well, 7:56, and the Leafs have a little bit of a breakdown again. They look tired at the end of a shift. And Bo Horvat fires one. It was a nice shot. I can't blame Hutchie for it. Nice shot, top corner for Bo Horvat just under 8 minutes into the third period to make it a 2-goal game. And as much as I love the Leafs and as much as I love the offense and the way they've played over this season, after that goal in the third period, I thought to myself, this might be tough. You're asking these guys on the second night of a back-to-back to score 2 goals in basically 10 minutes against a goalie who has been flying around on his head all game long, making big save after big save. It was not going to be easy. Now, the Leafs do have quite a few glorious chances. In that third period, Austin Matthews had an amazing chance there with the empty net. Rings one off the iron. You're not going to see that happen very often from Austin Matthews. He does it. He looks skyward. Not a good night in the office for Austin Matthews. Marner has a couple great chances. Tavares had an amazing chance in tight. But again, Thatcher Demko equal to the task. and shuts the door. How many times do I have to say that shooting shots on goal are a meaningless stat? The Leafs have lost shots on goal stats probably for the majority of the winning streak, but they've won. They won today in shots on goal, 33-27, and you lost 3-1. It's a terrible stat. It's a meaningless one. It's great for goaltenders when they get a lot of shots, they make a lot of easy saves. It looks great on their stat line, but it doesn't mean anything with who's going to win the hockey game. We've all learned that by now. And as much as the Leafs didn't play the greatest game today, I've always said to you guys, and I will continue to do so, 4-game win streak is nice. You're bound to lose one. You lost one tonight. You play the same Canucks team on Saturday night, 7 o'clock. So how is this Leaf team going to respond to that? You damn sure know that Thatcher Demko is going to be back in the net there on Saturday night. You know, they are flying high. They just got a victory. They beat one of the top teams in the NHL, if not the top team in the NHL. So they're feeling good about themselves. How are the Leafs going to respond after a loss? We talked about how Edmonton couldn't do that against the Leafs. They won 5 straight. They lost 3 in a row, right? They couldn't rebound after one loss. The Leafs, let's see how they do it. Obviously expecting Frederik Andersen to be in the net there on Saturday night. And for Austin Matthews, his last 2 games he's been back, he hasn't really stood out a whole lot. He was better in the game today, but he hasn't really stood out in any of these games. He's gone goalless now in 4 straight. So he's not really feeling himself right now. But again, the depth is picking up. Obviously, with Engvall and Mikheyev getting points again tonight, the depth's been unbelievable for this team. Wayne Simmons, it sounds like he's on the right track and going to be back very soon in the Leafs lineup. So that's great news for Leaf fans. Jack Campbell was on the ice today. So that's great news for Leaf fans. In the end, it sucks you lost because you never like losing, right? If you like losing, you're not a sports fan, right? I don't like that the Leafs lost today. I thought they didn't play the greatest game today, but those games happen. This team is 18-5-2. How can you be mad? As Ilya Bryzgalov would say, Ilya Bryzgalov, well, you have to be mad. And it's true, right? So, hey, if they lose on Saturday against Vancouver, that's 2 straight, then I'll be like, okay, guys, let's get out of this. Because now you have Winnipeg at home for 3, and that team in Winnipeg has been playing very, very good hockey as of late. All right? So, you know, guys, I don't really want to talk about this too much. I really don't. Michael Hutchinson, 3 goals on 27 shots. Again, not his greatest night. Couple squeakers. You want to have some of those back. But again, he gave your team a chance to win, only allowing those 3 goals. The Leafs just couldn't find a way to pass Thatcher Demko, and that's just the way it happens sometimes. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and didn't really enjoy the game, if you're a Leaf fan, if you're a Canucks fan and thoroughly enjoyed the game, smack the like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game? All right, Twitter's down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. Also, the Instagram link is down below, so follow up there if you've not done so already. And I will talk to you guys. Jay's edition will be on Tuesday as we'll break down this past week's games. All right, Jays lost 8-2 today, but we'll pick positives out of a game like that. All right. That's what spring training's all about. As for the Raptors, they have a week off, thank goodness, before they take on the Atlanta Hawks on Thursday, March 11th, I think it is, at Amalie Arena. How's that Raptor team going to look? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. As for the Leafs, as we mentioned, their next game is on Saturday night in Vancouver, taking on the Canucks again, looking to rebound after this tough loss today and get back into the win column after a loss. That's what shows what great teams are all about. 7 o'clock puck drop there in Vancouver, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.